What are you doing? Sweetheart. Hello everybody, this is Ciara from Ciara Designs, and I thought I would jump on and do a bit of a cozy kind of Q&A video. So I've made a cup of tea, as you guys will have seen, and I'm going to enjoy it while I answer some questions and talk about a couple of things that have come up for my channel. So bear with me, this is the first video like this that I've ever done, so I'm a little nervous, might be a little awkward, I'll be honest, but we'll get through it together and we'll talk about some interesting things, I think. So the first thing I want to talk about is where I want my channel to go. And I think this is a question that is a little bit of a struggle for me, just because it has to be a balance between content people want to see so that they keep coming in and are interested in what I'm making, and content that I want to make. So hopefully that kind of makes sense, in that I want to touch bases with both of those things, because I want to be able to make stuff that I enjoy making, but also stuff you guys actually want to see. So I've been throwing around some different ideas for the channel, and I'd love to get your guys' feedback. Tell me what you think of these couple of different ideas. So I'd really like to do a pen pal series. Pen pal, I love it. I love learning about different countries and people in them, and what people are doing and whatever. So I've actually been pen paling for a few years, and I really enjoy it. And I'd love to kind of share that with you guys and maybe step up my pen pal game a bit with maybe like decorated envelopes and like pockets that have cool ephemera on the letter, stuff like that. So that's something that I love to do and add onto the channel. So let me know what you guys think about that. It would still be paper oriented, because I'd like to, you know, like make fun folded pocket things. I know that's not a very good way to explain it, but like maybe we make a set of tags that are going to go in the pockets for the pen pals, and you know, we get some ephemera, we make some ephemera, that kind of stuff. Like, it would still be very paper crafting oriented. It would just also involve writing letters to people that I consider my friends across the world. So let me know what you think about that one. And then I'd also really like to consider doing like a junk journal or an art journal, something journaling-esque that's a little less linear, maybe? I'm not sure if that's the right word. A little less structured, maybe, because I find junk journaling seems very freeing and very abstract almost in a way. So I kind of have been throwing around the idea of making a junk journal. I do have some art journals. I don't generally share them because I'm a little, I don't super think that my stuff is amazing, so I generally don't share it, but I could. If you guys think that that's something you'd like to see, I absolutely could do that. And then I'd also really like to do studio vlogs. So one of my biggest dreams is to open my own stationery store. And to that, I've been, you know, working on some stuff in the background. I've made some sticker designs that I want to turn into stickers. I'm working on branding for my business, which is Ciara Designs, you guys know. And I would like to take you along with me and share that kind of journey with you. So, I mean, I understand that might not be for everybody, and that's totally okay, totally makes sense. But if that's something that you're considering too, you know, maybe we can learn together. I think that it'd be a lot of fun. I want to sit down and design like thank you cards and business cards and products that I will then sell to people all over the world, or anybody who actually wants to purchase them, of course. And I'd get to take you guys with me on that adventure and kind of document it for myself too, so I get to look back and you know, in a few years and see how it's grown or how my art style's changed, or you know, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. You guys let me know. Cards aren't going anywhere. I'm still going to make cards. There's still going to be, you know, Christmas in July. There's still going to be that kind of a thing. It just may be that also there's some journaling pages, or there's some studio vlogs as well, or that kind of thing. I just kind of want to broaden my channel a bit and do things that are a bit different, just because I think that they would be a lot of fun, and I worry that I'm going to get stagnant. And hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I worry that I kind of end up doing a lot of the similar things over and over, and I don't ever want you guys to get bored of my channel. And that is a concern for me. So hopefully that's not a concern for you guys, and hopefully I'm just, you know, overreacting to that idea, but I would love your honest feedback and tell me what you think. So that's kind of the update for my channel. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking. Let me know in the comments and tell me if any of those series kind of sound like they may be interesting to you or not. That's okay too. Either direction, I'd love your feedback. So let's jump into some questions from you guys that I've gotten on some videos in the past when I asked if you guys had any questions for me. So the first one was a studio tour. I got that several times. You guys will have seen that I posted a studio tour last week, maybe the week before. I think it was last week, honestly. Yeah, so I'll link that up in the card. You guys can check it out if you want to. I think it was a pretty cute studio vlog. So I mean, check it out if you're interested. I was also asked if you guys could meet the cats. Absolutely you can. I have 5. My husband and I have 5. We have Ty, who is, I believe, 17. He might be 18 now. He was my first rescue that I got when I was living on my own. And then we have Mist and Shadow, who are sisters. We rescued them. They'll be 4 in September. 5 in September. Maybe they'll be 5 in September. And then we have the littlest ones that are the siblings. You're right, actually, sorry, Shadow and Mist will be 5 in September. And then I have Ember and Shade, who are brother and sister. And they were our last SPCA foster set, a part of that group of kittens we had, and we kept them, and they will be 3 in September. So that is our 5. I will insert either like a picture of them or a little like video clip or something. I'll make sure something is showing you the kittens as I tell you about them, but they are all rescues. None of them are purebred anything that I know of, so they're just kitties. Shadow and Ty are black. Mist is gray. Ember is orange, but she's also she's a tortie, they think they told me, where she's half tortoiseshell, half tabby, and she's orange. And then her brother, Shade, is gray, black, and like a little bit of white. So yeah, I'll show you guys some pictures. They're super adorable. I love them. They're amazing. The next question was my shopping habits. Well, I mean, I get the Simon Says Stamp kit every month. You guys know, because if you've watched my channel, you've seen the unboxing and the 5 cards 1 kit. And yes, I'm very behind on July's. That will hopefully come up in the next week or 2, as well as I believe my August kit's supposed to get here tomorrow. So that one will also be coming. So I do get the Simon Says Stamp kit. Otherwise, it's it depends on what releases are coming out and what I like from those releases. So I try to buy things that I don't have very similar things to already in my stash. So it honestly depends on what the companies are bringing out at that time as to what I tend towards. I don't think there's anything specific, although I am really drawn to florals, so I do own a lot of florals. But I don't know otherwise if I have specific habits. Tim Holtz, which we'll touch on here in a minute. You guys know that I love Tim Holtz, so I do own a fair amount of his stuff, and his releases I do pick up a few things generally. But I don't know if I have any specific habits. My favorite companies. That's hard because pretty much all of the companies on the market are amazing. But some of the ones off my top of my head would of course be Tim Holtz, Simon Says Stamp. Honeybee does amazing stuff. Pink Fresh Studios is amazing. Waffle Flower's been coming out with some great stuff. Spellbinders has some awesome stuff. Like, there's just so many companies. Studio Katya, which actually happens to be a Canadian-based company. They're actually based in Alberta. And if you guys don't know, I'm based in British Columbia, so we're like right side by side province-wise. And they've got some amazing stuff. There's so many amazing companies out there. I try to spread my money around a bit so that I can support a bunch of them, because I don't want any of them to close. So I don't know if I have any. Well, Tim Holtz and Simon Says Stamp would probably be my ones that I buy consistently all the time. But my favorite card makers. Okay, so let me see. Who do I watch? I watch Christina Warner, obviously. Jennifer Maguire, Tim Holtz whenever he does his lives, which, I mean, sadly, he's not doing as many makes as I wish he would, which, I mean, none of my business, right? But I wish he did more makes. Who else? I watched Jessica Frost Ballas, Amy from Prairie Paper and Ink, Kelly Lativola, who's now Kelly Taylor. I subscribe to so many people, you guys, that I look at the thumbnail and then I just watch the video if it's something I think that I would love to try. I have to be a bit selective. I don't have as much spare time as I wish I had to watch other channels, but there's so many that I think are amazing. Let's have a sip of tea. My tea's gonna go cold while I talk. What's the next one? Filming gear and editing software. Okay, well, I would have shown you guys my filming gear in the studio tour. So you saw it. I actually use my iPhone to film my top-down shots. I have lights mounted on the walls that my dad built for he built the metal piece that goes on the wall, and then my husband mounted them for me. And then as for editing software, I use Photoshop for my images and Premiere Pro for my videos. So both of those are Adobe-based software, which you do have to pay for. But there are free alternatives out there. I went to school for graphic design, so I use Illustrator and Photoshop for other projects. So I just automatically use Adobe because I already had it when I went to school. So that's kind of just my preference. But I mean, anything would work. Apparently, if you own a Mac, iMovie is free and works really well. I own a Mac and I've never tried it because I was already doing Premiere Pro by that point. But those are kind of what I use. Me and my family. Okay, well, as you guys know, there's me and my husband, Christopher. We've been married 3 years, September 1st, but we've been together 7 years in January, I think, or this January coming. And then we have our 5 cats. That is kind of my immediate family. And then my parents, who live about an hour and a half down the road, who I see as often as I can and talk to all the time. I have a brother who lives in Kelowna. And that's kind of my family. And then of course I have cousins and aunts and uncles and all that. But as for Christopher, he has, we lost his mom a couple of years ago, which was heartbreaking. And his dad lives on the island. So we get to see him as much as we can as well. Sadly, it's not as often as we like, but I am very, very close with my family, so I speak to them daily to their dismay sometimes. But yeah, no, I'm very, very close with my family, so I do spend a lot of time with them when I can. What do I do at the hospital? Okay, so when I started this channel, actually, when I started this channel, we lived in a different town and then we moved, but in the last while, I've worked in the hospital in my old town, and I worked up until very recently in the hospital in my new city. And I originally was carried. I was carried for about 10 years until I got hurt badly enough that I couldn't do the job anymore. So then I went into administration, and I'd been in administration now for a few years. So I was in the hospital here doing admitting, and like if you went into a merge and your paperwork needed to be filed, it would be me. I'd be one of the people doing that. So that's what I was doing very recently, or recently until this new job that I just started, which I just started this coming weekend will be my 4th week in this new role. So I just started a new job. It's still with the same health. I'm still in healthcare. I don't think I'll leave healthcare until I retire, or until, you know, my own little shop becomes something that I can support myself with, or my family with. But so now I'm still doing administration, but it's more of like a medical office assistant style job. So we have a virtual clinic where we support communities that don't have enough doctors to see them. So, which is a pretty big issue here. I think it's an issue in a lot of places, but northern British Columbia doesn't have enough doctors to support the population. So we being the whole of the office, have a virtual clinic that people can call and get to talk to a doctor fairly quickly. So it's a really, really interesting program, and I'm really enjoying being a part of it. So ask me again down the road when I've been there a little while, because it's all still very, very new, but I'm loving it so far. So that's what I'm doing for work. My dream design team, ooh, that one's hard, again, because there's so many amazing companies out there. And I'm always super honored when any company asks if I'd be interested in working with them, because, I mean, there's a lot of amazingly talented creators. So when someone reaches out to me, it's always just, I always get a little, I get really excited, and I get, I'm like almost overwhelmed with gratitude for the fact that a company would reach out to me. So my like top dream companies would probably be Tim Holtz, obviously. I love his stuff. And I say his stuff, but you know, I mean like Sizzix and Stampers Anonymous and Ideology. Like all of the companies that he works with are amazing. So I'd love to work with Tim Holtz. Simon Says Stamp, of course, would be amazing. Honeybee, I think, would be amazing. They have a lot of really cool stuff coming out. Spellbinders, which I've gotten to work with a bit so far. They reached out to me here a month or two ago and asked if I'd be interested in working with them on a project, and I did get to do that, so that was awesome. Hopefully they'll reach out again sometime in the future and I'll get to do some more. But yeah, I mean, I would happily work with a multitude of companies because I'm just super honored that they'd actually ask me to work with their stuff. So I'm always excited. Hopefully I get a dream team in the future. But yeah, I mean, I would say honestly, like if I had to pick one, it'd be Tim Holtz, just because I love his stuff. But Simon Says Stamp is right up there too. So I guess those would be kind of my dream teams. The next question is, why do I love Tim Holtz? And that's kind of funny. For a multitude of reasons, I think. I love the message and what he stands for as a person and as a creative. Just, you know, you do you, and don't expect others to, you know, and don't care what others say. Like, if you guys have watched Tim Holtz lives, he seems very down to earth. He seems very genuine, him and Mario. And I love the positivity that he's putting into the industry. And then on the side note, I love his products. They're always quality products. They're always insanely well made. And they're versatile. Like, now granted, there are some things that I wish he would make more of. Like, I wish he would do some more floral embossing folders. Now, this is just because I love florals, not because he actually needs to make any more florals. But I love the grunge that he brings too, because it's not my aesthetic and it's still stunning in its own way. So I love the versatility that he brings, and I just think that he's a very genuine and kind person, and I love what he brings to the industry. So I don't know, I think that anybody who can promote positivity is just someone who I am going to stand behind. So hopefully that kind of answers the question. Would I like my channel to be the main source of income? Yes and no. The reason I say that is YouTube doesn't pay very much. The way you make money on YouTube is based on AdSense, and that's those little ads that pop up sometimes before the video, sometimes during the video. And it's really like cents. So I got my first YouTube payout in July for June, April, May, and June. Because I am a smaller channel, as you guys know, you're here. And I made, I think, $100. So in 3 months of AdSense, I made $100. So while that's still money in the bank and I'm ridiculously appreciative, it's not enough to support even just my income, because my husband and I, we both work. So I don't think that the channel, unless it got huge, which because I'm so niche, I can't really see happening, but I can't see the channel supporting my life. However, I would love if I could make enough income through different sources as well as my channel to support myself, to not have to go out of the home to work. If that was possible, that would be the dream. So whether it's, you know, Etsy sales or the channel, or maybe down the road a Patreon, or that kind of diversifying my income, that would be amazing. So yes and no to that question. Hopefully that answers. If I'm not answering the question that you asked well enough, please let me know and I will try another stab at it. Who would you like to collaborate with? Oh, lots of people. No, that's a hard one, because collaborations can be super interesting. Because generally, unless you're kind of at the same subscriber count area, it can kind of be taken as if you're trying to get success off of someone else's hard work. So I only ask people that I've kind of built a really good rapport with to collaborate. So you guys know I've collaborated with Kendra, I've collaborated with Cassie Trask once in the past. I collaborated with my friend Annalisa, who actually lives in the same province as I do, so that's super cool. Other than that, I don't really think I've ever collaborated with anybody, but I'm always open. I mean, if someone wants to collaborate, they send me a message, and if it works with the schedule and it kind of works for each of us, then yeah, I'm pretty happy. I don't know if there's anybody specific other than Tim Holtz, but that's unlikely to happen. So, then is Jennifer McGuire my idol? I don't know. Well, she's one of the people who kind of blazed the trail for paper crafters, so I think that she's amazing and very talented. But I don't know if I have any specific idol. I think that I'm very inspired by a lot of creators in the industry. So I think that there's a lot of amazing people doing what they do and sharing it with everybody, and I just think that that's wonderful. So I don't know if I'd call anybody specifically my idol, but Jennifer McGuire is pretty amazing. So if I could start a trend, what would it be? Honestly, loving what you can make. I think we get caught up in comparing ourselves to other people's work, and I'm guilty of it too. But that's not where you're at, and that's, you know, like you're comparing their best work with perhaps your first work or a work that you're not feeling very good about. So I don't like that. I think that if I could start a trend where people were just happy to be making, then I think that that would be pretty amazing. But that and ink blending, because ink blending is the most amazing thing ever. I love it so much. And then how much do I spend a month on average on crafting supplies? This varies vastly. As I said, I do purchase the Simon Says Stamp monthly kit, which I think costs me Canadian. I think it's about 50 bucks. I'd have to go and double check, but I think it's about 50 bucks. And then it depends again on who has releases that month. Mostly, I don't, the only thing consistent is the Simon Says Stamp kit. Otherwise, it really depends on who's bringing out a release and what I feel would contribute well to my stash generally. And then sometimes it depends. Do I need glue? Do I need more cardstock? Do you know the basics that we purchase consistently? Do I need more of those? Because of course that would up the amount of money that I was spending at that time. So I don't know, maybe $100 a month on average, maybe. It's a guess though, because I honestly, I don't really know. I don't have a set amount. I know some people have to budget and they can only spend a certain amount, which is why I'm a big believer in using what you have in your stash. You don't have to have all the newest, bestest, brightest things. You can make beautiful stuff with what you already own. So, I mean, I try to only purchase things that I feel would be a really great addition to my stash, or things that I don't have already. So that's kind of what I try to aim for. Sometimes I get sucked into wanting the newest, brightest thing, especially with the distress colors. But I mean, I think that you should just live within what you can do, and that's really all that matters, because I don't want anybody to compare themselves to me. But yeah, I don't have a set amount of money that I spend, so that's would be about 100 maybe. Some months would be more, some months might be less, but guaranteed pretty much 50 bucks a month because of the kit. So hopefully that answers the question. So this last one is a bit longer, and it's kind of, I think, about a two-part question. So I'll read you the question. I'm reading I have a sheet of, oh, you can't even see that, but I have a list of all of the questions I've been asked over the last while, and I'm just kind of reading them. Okay, so this is the question. I am overwhelmed by the card makers that have the latest releases from every company. Oh, am I overwhelmed? Okay, so that's a question to me. And then they go on to say, I think a lot of people feel bad that they can't afford to buy everything they see, and I think that YouTubers should be more upfront. Do they get these products for free? Do they pay for their videos? Do they get paid for their videos? And do they work for these companies? I don't get overwhelmed because I try really hard not to compare myself. sometimes it's hard because you'll know I'll see like Honeybee's done this great new release, and I'll be watching Amy R's video and she's got all the stuff, and I get a little jealous, to be honest. But then I have to remind myself that Amy R's does this as a career. She's on the Honeybee design team, as well as the Simon Says Stamp design team. And she's very transparent about what people send her. So she's really good about that, as is, I think, Kelly Taylor. I think most of them are really good. I think that honestly, it depends on if you remember to say it or not. I've been given a few things. Like if I was on a design team, the design team things would have been given to me. Some I purchased, but generally they're usually given. But otherwise, I don't know that I've ever really been given things short of working on a design team, of course. So do I get overwhelmed? No, I would say no, only because, again, I try really hard not to compare where I'm at in my crafting journey and where they are in theirs, because especially like Christina Warner, Jennifer McGuire, Amy R, they've all been doing it for quite a while, years upon years. I think Christina Warner, hasn't she been in it like 10 years or something? So they've built themselves to a point where companies want to work with them, and that is completely understandable, and that is the goal, right? It's the goal to kind of create a name that people want to work with. So I don't think that I get overwhelmed. And I think it's great to be transparent, and I try to be, for sure, just because I don't want anybody to think that, you know, I'm getting all these things for free and I don't have to pay for anything and whatever. Pretty much everything I have, I pay for. With the exception, again, as I said, of design teams, because I was given those products to make videos in exchange, right? Other than that, and the Spellbinder reach out to me, they sent me some products. Other than that, I have bought everything that I own, and I've been slowly building my stash over now years. I think I've been crafting really consistently for the last about 5 years, I'd say, and I've had my YouTube channel for 2.5 years. So, I don't think I get overwhelmed. Sorry about that, guys. The camera decided it was too warm and shut off. So I had to go and hold it in front of my little swamp cooler thing so it would cool off enough to work again. So I have answered all the questions, I think. If you want to ask me any questions or want to make any comments about anything I've talked about, please do let me know what you think, especially what I want to do with the channel. Let me know what you think about it. So I will leave you here, and hopefully you will leave me some good feedback on this video. So that is all I have for you. If you leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.